Story highlights Interpol had a red notice out for one of the two brothers who became suicide bombers. Turkey's president says his country's authorities caught and deported one of the attackers. 31 people were killed and 270 wounded in attacks at a Brussels subway station and the city's airport. CNN. Two brothers blew themselves up during bloody terrorist attacks that rocked Belgium's capital and, in fact, all of Europe, and the nightmare isn't over, with at least one other attacker still on the loose. Belgian federal prosecutor Frederik van Leeuw identified Ibrahim El Bakraoui as one of two suicide bombers at the Brussels airport and his brother, Khaled El Bakraoui, as the man behind a deadly suicide blast about an hour later on a train near the Malbeek metro station. There has been no official word yet on the identity of two other men seen alongside Ibrahim El Bakraoui, pushing luggage carts through the Brussels airport in a photo released by authorities Tuesday. Replay more videos. Must-watch video timeline. They saw the Brussels attacks. 01:45. One of those unidentified men is a presumed suicide bomber himself. The other, dressed in light-coloring clothing and hat, is thought to have placed a bomb at the airport and then left. He's now on the run, according to Van Leeuw. Brussels mood. We know these things can happen, but we must go on. While two explosives went off within 37 seconds of each other, shortly before 8 a.m., this third bomb, described as the heaviest by Van Leeuw, did not, instead being detonated by authorities later in a controlled explosion. Brussels eyewitness. Belgium doesn't deserve this. Two people were arrested Tuesday in connection with the attacks, one in Schaerbeek and the other in Haren, though one of them was released later that day. Van Leeuw said, the three men who are suspected of taking part in the attacks at Belgium's Zaventem airport. Another person was detained Wednesday, according to Belgian state broadcaster RTBF. That said, officials indicated this person is not the third airport suspect, the man in light-colored clothing, seen in the released photograph. Two U.S. officials said they believe the man planned all along to plant the bomb and leave, wherever he is now. With Belgium still at its highest security alert level, Belgians face continuing danger even as they mourn the 31 killed and 270 wounded in Tuesday's attacks. Surveillance footage. Cab driver offer clues in investigation in Brussels attack as Belgian counterterrorism official Paul van Tigchelt said Wednesday. There are still a number of people possibly involved in the attack still in our country, who still pose a threat. Latest updates on Brussels attacks. Links to Paris attacks. The more authorities dig, the deeper the connections appear to be between Tuesday's attacks in Brussels and those 4 months ago in Paris, where 130 people died in a terrorist massacre inside a concert hall, in cafes and restaurants and on the city's streets. Investigators know that several of the Paris attackers had spent time in Belgium. One of them was Salah Abdeslam, who has been identified as the lone member of the core group of 8 Paris attackers to survive. Replay more videos. Must watch Brussels terrorists connected to Paris attacks. 00:10 Abdeslam was captured following a gun battle with police Friday in Brussels. Belgian officials later said that the 26-year-old may have been helping plan new attacks at the time of his capture. Investigators believe Abdeslam likely planned to be part of an attack orchestrated by the same ISIS cell that carried out Tuesday's attacks in Brussels. A senior Belgian counterterrorism official told CNN's Paul Cruikshank, the Brussels attackers likely accelerated their plans when Belgian police discovered Abdeslam's hideout. Investigators believe the Belgium-born French citizen is thought to have eluded authorities, while Mohamed Belkade covered for him until being killed by a Belgian police sniper that first time, only to be caught a few days later. That initial March 15 raid, in the southern Brussels district of Forest, was on a residence that one of the Bakraoui brothers rented using false identity papers, said a senior Belgian counterterrorism official. A different Belgian security source said that Khaled El Bakraoui, specifically, rented that apartment, and that he and his brother had ties to the November 13 carnage in Paris. Interpol had a standing red notice for Khalid, the subway bomber, that noted Belgian authorities wanted him in connection with terrorism. A similar notice, which signals police worldwide that someone is wanted but isn't equal to an arrest warrant, is out for Najim Lahirawi, who authorities publicly identified on Monday as being a suspect in the Paris attacks. Brothers Khalid el-Bakrawi, left, and Brahim el-Bakrawi, right. Speaking about the Bakrawi brothers, Fen Liu said, these two deceased suicide bombers had lengthy criminal records but were not linked to terrorism, whatever their past, and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan told reporters Wednesday that his country had caught one of the Brussels attackers at a Syrian border crossing.